Very commonly I get asked, well, if students aren't reading and you say that they have this natural sense of music, well, where do they get their instruction from? How do they actually learn? Is it playing by ear? Which it's not, although we use that a little bit. If I were to draw an analogy to how the program works, it's very simple to understand. It's a little bit like this. For most of us, when we drive a car, we go from location to location on a daily basis. For the most part, what's invisible to us is the fact that all of our instructions, how do we get from A to B, from B to C, from C to D? We've laid all of our instructions out onto the road. Signposts, road maps, landmarks. Maybe when we're going somewhere for the very first time, we pull out a map and our instructions come from the page. Second time, maybe we have to refer to it as a guide, but by the third time we go somewhere, we know that we turn right at the intersection, we turn left at the church, we turn right at the Safeway, and it's the house with the big tree and the white fence. It's a very practical approach to driving. We've laid all of our instructions out onto the road. What happens with Simply Music is we use a very similar process. We teach students to recognize patterns, shapes. I'll call them sequences, sentences. Can sound a little bit abstract, but primarily all we do is teach students how to lay their instructions out onto the instrument. And when you get behind the scenes, it's remarkable the quality of music, the complexity of music that can be distilled into simple shapes and patterns. Students can be taught an approach, a way of learning that allows them to amass an enormous repertoire of fantastic sounding music with all of their instruction laid out in front of them on the instrument. It means a couple of things. One, it frees people up. It frees them up to be naturally, to remain connected to their sense of musicality. It frees people up emotionally. They're not having to go through a translation of the page to get to the instrument. They remain connected. And in doing that, they learn a way of learning. And that becomes the basis on which we build a phenomenal repertoire.